Your 6 foot Ben, and I'm going to go over the grain to grain transfer in case you don't know what that is. That's basically taking a jar like this and inoculating another jar with this. So you can keep that strain going. So if you don't have any more syringes, you basically can just keep this bloodline going forever if you want to. I always keep a mother jar of my strains that I use for grain to grain. Um, and basically, all that is you when you get ready to spawn a jar, you break it up on your car tire or whatever, and then you shake it into another jar of sterilized rice that you were gonna, instead of inoculating with spores, you just shake a little bit of this rice into there, and it'll take off and grow just like it would with spores. Best way to do that is with a still air box, and that would be taken in one of those Rubbermaid tubs and putting 2 holes in it so your arms can fit through. That way, there's no contaminants going to get in there. But I, I'm poor, so I don't do that. I use my oven. So what I do is set your oven on high as fucking hell until it's hot as a motherfucker, right? And you sit in front of your oven and use your door as basically your workbench, right? Now, when that hot oven is fucking kicking out hot air, that hot air rises. And what that'll do in theory is any airborne spores are going to fly upwards, right? So you basically just do it in front of your oven. And I use that for when I'm inoculating jars with my syringes too. And it just, it it's not 100%, but it works for me. But what is 100% is grain to grain transfer because that will keep you growing even if you don't have any more spores. As long as you have jars, you can always keep going. So just sprinkle a little bit, just a tiny bit. You don't need much. Just a little bit of inoculators, colonized rice into your new rice jar, and it will take off. And then when that does it, you do the same thing, the same thing, the same thing. Keep it going, and that way you don't have to spend a bunch of money on new spores. So I'm not gonna do it on camera because I don't have a cameraman, and it is a fucking, you don't want to fuck up, So I'm not gonna do that right now on camera. But it's a simple thing. It's basically into your jars. Now, make sure you clean your jars well because if they got some kind of shit on the jars, you can shake that into your new jar. So, wash that fucker in the sink or wash it with alcohol or whatever you gotta do. Make sure you got a clean fucking jar so you're not pepper shaking a bunch of bad spores into your new jar. So, as long as you do that, you do it in front of the oven, you'll be all right. So, but yeah, keep that fucking bloodline going. So that way you don't spend a bunch of money on new spores, unless you got money to buy new spores. And then if you do, then do that. But I always do a grain to grain, especially if I got a good strain of mushrooms that I want to keep growing. Like I got albino penis envies, and I like to keep those going because it's hard to get. It's hard to get those. So anyway, good luck, and hope you're doing well.